So as you can see, I've just got a basic sketch going on as of now, and we need to block in this painting. So for that, I'll just take in some water, some white, and this is just approximately a mid-tone color. So I'll just take in some green and yellow color and brown and touch of black. And let's come right over here and start dropping in some grass. Maybe we need more of yellow color in that, and you can sort of experiment with your colors to know how it works. So now I've blocked in the whole painting, and let's go with some black and some blue, cobalt blue. So once you're satisfied with the texture on your palette, just come over here and drop in, okay, something over there, just some texture of grass as of now. So now I'll just take in more of that black and I'll do it vertically, indicating some tree line there. And I'm painting on A4 sheet today with watercolors. Okay, something over there like that. Just indicating some basic shapes and textures of trees there. Okay, something like that, and cover up that. So now with that same color, let's come right over here and think of some texture of sand. You could even make use of the tree and texture brush for this. Okay, something over there, and it'll get very fade off. There's not going to be much texture there. Just adding some interest. Okay, so now with that filbert brush which I painted this blue and white, I'll just come over here between these two, between the mud and the reflection in the puddle. Let's drop in some stuff. I've not cleaned this brush. Here's something over there, and just sort of giving that connection. Let's tap it. So now with my tree and texture brush, another type of tree and texture brush, let's come over here and drop in the detailings and the reflections. Not much, but definitely yes, some of them will be there. Taking more of that color. Okay, just blending these two together. Okay, something like that. Now with my rigger brush, I'll just go ahead and add in some detailings of the reflection. Just sort of connecting the dots. Okay, and some over here too. And look at that, the tip will be slightly lighter. Okay, something like that. Pick up the dark from the top so that everything fits together. And some over here too, just following the direction. and the way those reflections go. Let me take some water. So just darken this a bit, and you could even, if you're painting on a canvas or a watercolor paper, I would say it's a bonus. And some over here too, just some basic indications. That's it as of now. I've added more of water. So I just like to give it some breaks and stuff. Just like that, you can get very creative, but don't want to get carried away by those. That's enough for that. Here too, where that's getting lighter, and that's okay. You're just picking up some of those individual stuff. Just wiggle the brush as you're moving. So now let's go ahead with maybe some leaves, twigs, grasses have come into the puddle. Okay, and maybe some over here too. Look at that, the paper is bending. So as I told before, if you're painting on a canvas or a watercolor paper, it's simply a bonus. And make them all scattered, because on water they won't be equally distributed. Something over there like that. I'll add in some over here too. I'm still using the rigger brush, just tapping it, and same over here too, maybe to make it look very realistic and natural. Some over here too, and place them very randomly as you go by. Maybe sometimes they are grouped, sometimes they're not together. Okay, something like that. And you could even make use of the liner brush, but that's a small brush, but I just preferred the rigger brush for this. Maybe, let's drop in one or two grasses there. Okay, something like that, just reflecting them in all directions, all possible directions rather. And I simply enjoy painting water. Let it be an ocean, let it be a sea, let it be puddle. I simply enjoy. Okay, something like that over there. So now it's some yellow ochre on my same rigger brush. I just come over here and just drop in few leaves and twigs, just some sort of things going on there. Okay, and some over here too. Most of them will be collected over here. I'll slightly darken them, and you can also just tap it, keeping the brush at 90 degrees, making sure that the very end of the handle of the brush is pointing to the roof. Still continuing that one. That is just to make sure that we give that connection between the land and the water. Here it's a puddle. So now with that same color, let's come over here, sort of drop in that connection. Okay, maybe we should lighten that up. This shade of that should do it. Yeah, just tapping it. Look at that. I want circles there. Look, making some individual stones or pebbles, and leave a lot of those negative gaps. Make sure that each stone touches another. Just over there like that. And by the way, and since I'm painting in watercolors, these tend to dry a bit dull. So I'll make them brighter than I want. Just tap it like it's not going to be there. And some over here too, and maybe one or two over here, stones or leaves, whatever. So now it's some gray color. I'll just come over here. I'll not clean the brush. Something over there, and just a bit over here to ripples or stuff. It sort of adds some interest to your paintings. Here's something over there, and I like the dark and the light together. Here's something like that. So now with my tree and texture brush, with that same tree and texture brush again, I'll go over here, some texture. That's it. Not planning to make this puddle bigger, but just creating that texture. Okay, something over there. And some over here too. Mostly the foreground. As we come towards the foreground, the texture is going to get more. So now with that same color of gray which I had previously on my bigger brush, let's come over here and just drop in a few of those. So now it's some white, local, and a touch of red definitely. Let's come over here and drop in the highlights. Here's something over there, just widening the path. So now it's some white, green, and yellow ochre. I'll come over here and just drop in some grass again, or modifying them. Then just add in some more of that. To add in some depth, I'll just drop in like that over there. Okay, taking more of white and green. I have to create more layers because these paints tend to dry dull. Okay, something over there. You could even make use of lime yellow for this to brighten up that. Also, you can shape your land with this. Don't want it there. Yeah, and then maybe some over here too. And let's go back and add in some more texture to our path. Okay, just like that. So now it's some black on my number 2 fan brush again. Let's come over here and just drop in some more texture for this grass. Just doing it randomly as of now, and start off from the bottom because you will have more paint when you're starting. So just start off with the bottom so that the bottom gets darker, and bottom corner to be specific. Okay, something over there, and come over here too, making sure that the separation lies between those tree range and the grassland. Just tapping it like that. Some over here too, and just like that over there. Maybe these line the shadows. Let's go ahead and drop in some highlights to this. Here's something over there, and maybe some over here too. And I'll just take a light green color and just reflect that over here. Just pull it down. So now it's some bluish gray color. I'll come over here and just drop in some separation. Also make it look very regular. Okay, something like that. And I'll make the reflections a bit darker. So now on my rigger brush I've loaded in some lighter color of green. I'm just going to indicate some grass in the foreground, and I'm using the rigger brush for this. That just like that over there, and some over here too, just basic indications. So now I'll just take up some green, yellow, and white, just sort of giving some detailings there to those tree ranges. I'm just gonna tap it. Okay, and just at the beginning it'll be slightly brighter. Loaded with thick paint. Just showing that interest there, and some over here too, and this will show up over here because these are moving. Just over there like that, and some ripples and stuff. So now again with some grayish blue color, I'll go over here and just add in that separation between the land and the grass. Just making it subtle. Just tap it once or twice. Just don't want it to be in straight line. Barely touching the surface. Just adding more of those. And as they're going to come towards the foreground, they'll get bigger. So with this, I come to the end of this painting. I hope you have enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.